Noah's Ark and the Great Flood, a story of faith and renewal. The story of Noah's Ark and the Great Flood, found in Genesis 6:9, is one of the most well-known and impactful narratives in the Bible. It captures the profound themes of faith, obedience, divine judgment, and hope for renewal. This video will take you through the story, breaking it down into its key moments while exploring the lessons and significance it carries for humanity even today. The story begins with a description of humanity's moral and spiritual decline. The earth had become filled with wickedness, corruption, and violence. People had turned away from righteousness, and their every thought and action were driven by evil. God, grieved by the state of his creation, decided to take action to cleanse the world of its pervasive sin. However, amidst all the darkness, one man stood out: Noah. He was deemed righteous in the eyes of God, and lived a life of faith and obedience. Noah's unwavering trust in God would make him a central figure in this story of judgment and redemption. Seeing the dire state of humanity, God made the difficult decision to reset his creation. He planned to send a great flood to sweep away the corruption and violence, giving the earth a chance for renewal. But God's judgment was not without mercy. He chose Noah to carry out a divine mission, to ensure the survival of humanity and all living creatures. God instructed Noah to build an ark, an enormous wooden structure that would serve as a refuge during the catastrophic flood. This ark would house Noah, his family, and pairs of every animal species to preserve life on earth. God gave Noah detailed instructions on how to construct the ark, specifying its dimensions, materials, and design. The ark was to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high, approximately 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. It was to have 3 levels, a door on the side and a roof for shelter. Although Noah had no prior experience building such a massive structure, he faithfully followed God's commands. This monumental task would take years, requiring tremendous dedication and resolve. During this time, Noah faced ridicule and disbelief from his contemporaries. The idea of a global flood likely seemed absurd to them, yet Noah's unwavering faith kept him focused on his mission. As Noah completed the ark, God instructed him to gather pairs of animals, male and female, from every species to ensure their survival. The animals came from across the earth, drawn by God's direction. Noah also prepared enough food and provisions for his family and the animals to endure the days that would be spent aboard the ark. When everything was ready, God commanded Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives to enter the ark. They were to take refuge before the rains began. It marked the beginning of one of the most extraordinary events in biblical history. Once Noah, his family, and the animals were safely inside, God himself shut the door of the ark. Soon after, the heavens opened, and torrential rains began to fall. The floods were not limited to rain. Underground springs also burst forth, contributing to the rapidly rising waters. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain poured relentlessly, covering even the highest mountains. The earth as Noah had known it was entirely submerged. Everything outside the ark was destroyed, and humanity's corruption was wiped clean. Yet, within the ark, Noah, his family, and the animals were safe under God's protection. Life aboard the ark was likely challenging, requiring the family to care for the animals and manage limited resources for weeks on end. However, their safety was a testament to God's faithfulness and the importance of trusting in his plan, even amidst overwhelming uncertainty. The floodwaters rose to unimaginable heights, but Noah and those aboard the ark remained unharmed. This act of divine preservation underscored God's mercy toward those who walk in faith and obedience. After the 40 days of rain, the waters began to recede, though the process was slow. The ark drifted on the surface of the waters for months as the earth gradually dried. Eventually, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat, marking the first sign of renewal. As time passed, Noah began to assess the state of the outside world. He waited patiently for signs that the earth was once again habitable. To determine if the floodwaters had subsided, Noah released 2 birds. First, he sent out a raven which flew back and forth but failed to provide clear information. Next, he sent out a dove, which initially returned without any sign of dry land. After waiting a week, Noah sent out the dove again, and it returned with an olive leaf in its beak, a powerful symbol that vegetation was growing once more. After another week, Noah released the dove one final time. This time it did not return, indicating that the earth was ready for habitation. With this knowledge, Noah prepared to leave the ark and re-enter the world. When Noah, his family, and the animals exited the ark, they stepped into a transformed and renewed world. The flood had washed away the corruption, giving creation a fresh start. This moment was filled with hope and the promise of a new chapter. Noah's actions upon leaving the ark were deeply significant. His first act was to build an altar and offer sacrifices to God in gratitude for their salvation. This gesture of worship and thanksgiving reflected Noah's understanding of God's providence and faithfulness. In response to Noah's worship, God made a covenant with humanity. He promised never again to destroy the earth by flood, offering reassurance and hope for the future. As a sign of this covenant, God placed a rainbow in the sky, declaring it a symbol of his promise to all generations. The rainbow served as a reminder of God's mercy and faithfulness. It marked a new era in the relationship between God, humanity, and creation, one based on hope, restoration, and the potential for renewal. The story of Noah's Ark and the Great Flood offers several profound lessons that remain relevant today. Faith and obedience. Noah's unwavering faith in God's plan, even in the face of monumental challenges, serves as an inspiring example of obedience. His trust reminds us that following God's guidance, even when it seems difficult or illogical, leads to divine protection and blessings. God's sovereignty and mercy. The flood demonstrates God's authority over creation and his ability to bring about justice. However, it also reveals his mercy and desire for renewal, as he spared Noah and preserved life for a fresh start. Gratitude and worship. Noah's immediate act of thanksgiving upon leaving the ark shows the importance of acknowledging God's faithfulness. It serves as a reminder for us to express gratitude for his blessings and protection in our lives. Hope and renewal. The rainbow symbolizes hope and the promise of new beginnings. It reminds us that no matter how dark or overwhelming a situation may be, God offers the opportunity for restoration and renewal. Noah's story holds relevance far beyond its ancient origins. It speaks to universal themes of enduring faith, perseverance through challenges, and the hope of a better future. For many, it serves as a guide for trusting God during times of uncertainty, knowing that he has a greater plan at work. In our modern world, where individuals face personal struggles, societal challenges, and environmental concerns, Noah's faithfulness and willingness to follow God's instructions inspire us to remain steadfast. The story invites us to reflect on how we can live in harmony with divine principles, take care of creation, and embrace second chances when they come our way. The story of Noah's Ark and the Great Flood is not just an account of judgment and destruction. It is a narrative of faith, mercy, and renewal. It challenges us to trust in God's plan, even in the face of uncertainty, and to strive for righteousness in our own lives. This story reminds us that, just as Noah and his family were saved, we too can find hope and restoration through faith. The covenant marked by the rainbow serves as a beautiful promise of God's continued care for humanity. As we reflect on this timeless tale, let it inspire us to cultivate unwavering faith, express gratitude for God's blessings, and walk forward in hope, knowing that renewal is always within reach.